Okay, this video is all about, well, it's an introduction to product launch formula. And it's a bit of a history lesson, but all this is really important because I think you need to know how it was developed and how it's different from traditional marketing and how it differs from every other online marketing method there is in the world. So I'm sure you've seen all kinds of online marketing stuff, and there's a new one coming out every week and every month, and it seems like after a month or two, most of them are outmoded and don't work anymore. Product launch formula is different because it's been around for a long time and it's been working for a long time, and it's proven. It's proven in every market you could imagine, in every language you could imagine, in every country, in every continent, with every type of offer, every type of product, every type of service. There's this long history going back, and I just wanted to share that with you because I want you to understand how and why this works. So the story starts way back in 1990. That's when I left my last job. I had a corporate job. I wasn't so successful in the corporate world. I was basically a corporate failure. I washed out and I left to go home and take care of be the primary care provider, Mr. Mom, take care of my 1-year-old son. And then a few years later, I had a newborn daughter, so I was home taking care of 2 kids. So that was from 1990 until 1996. During that time, I was studying the stock market. I was passionate about the stock market. And then in 1996 is when I started my first online business. I was looking for a real change in my life. I wanted to contribute financially to my family's fortune. And so in 1996, I started publishing online. And that's actually when I did my first launch. Now, I didn't have any experience, any online experience, any business experience, any sales experience, any marketing experience. I had never started a business before. I was not naturally talented at selling or marketing, had none of that. So and there was no training available. There was no product launch formula back then. There was literally no one was doing business online, and there were no people that were really teaching how to sell online. So what I did was I went back in time because when I started looking around, I realized there was this long tradition of direct marketing. Now, when I went to college, I got a business degree, and they taught in my marketing class, they taught what was called brand marketing. That was sort of like Coca-Cola. And they spent a lot of money on TV ads and print ads to get people to think about Coca-Cola so that when they walk in a store, they reach for Coca-Cola instead of some other drink. That's brand marketing. That doesn't work so well for our types of businesses. What we do is direct marketing, where we do our marketing so someone actually buys from us. And so here, when I went to start my business and I didn't know how to sell, I didn't know how to market, I went back in time and I learned there was this body of work about direct marketing. And that body of work went back way into like the 1920s. And that was mostly based around direct mail, where you would send out something via direct mail. And what I learned was there was 3 keys in direct marketing. And it was list, which was the list that you were reaching out to, that you were mailing to. And then there was also the offer, which is what you were offering people, what you wanted them to buy. And then there was copy. And copy or copywriting, that was the words you used in your direct mail or in your ad to get people to buy. And so what I learned is if you got 2 of these right, like list and offer or the list and the copy, you could do well. And if you got all 3 of these right, then you had a home run. I also learned that getting these 3 right was really complicated and really hard. And that's why there weren't that many people. There were people that had wild success in direct marketing, but there weren't very many of them. And there were a lot of people that tried it and failed. Well, what I also started to figure out then was that the online world over here was a little bit different. There were some key differences. 1, it was more interactive, and 2, it was a lot faster. You could get feedback a lot faster. Those 2 things made a huge difference. And also the third was that you weren't dependent on one piece of mail. The cost structure was different. Here you'd send out 1 piece of mail, it would cost you a lot of money. You would have to buy the list, then you would have to write your copy, then you would print it out and you would send it out, and then you sat around and waited for the response to come in. Here, you could send multiple pieces of copy. So those three things really made a big difference. That it was more interactive, that the speed of response was quicker, and that the cost structure was different. You could afford to send multiple pieces of copy. And so somehow I inherently figured out that this was a little bit different, and then it allowed trial and error. So right here in 1996, I did my first launch, and I did $1,650 in sales. Now, everyone's frame of reference on money is different. There are some people where that is like the most money they would have ever made in their lives, and there are other people that they would barely cross the street for that amount of money. So everyone's different. For me, I was ecstatic. I was doing backflips. I'd spent 6, not literal backflips, but I was jumping up and down literally. I was so excited because for 6 years I had made $0. So to make $1,650 was very, very exciting to me. And I realized if I did it once, I could do it again and again and again. And I might actually get better. And that's what happened. The next launch was 6,000, then 8,000, then 8,000, then somewhere in there was a 15,000. It was amazing. Then a 34,000. Then I did a launch that did over $100,000. It was mind-blowing. And so the word started to filter out as I went to a marketing conference. I started talking to people I met about what I was doing. I was teaching about the stock market. And oh, by the way, I did this launch that did $100,000 in a week. Word started to get out. So in 2003, I started to take on a couple of clients. And I worked with them in different kinds of markets. One was writing love letters, how to write love letters, an information product on how to write love letters. And those clients started to have some real success. So in 2005, I came out with the first version of Product Launch Formula. Completely changed the market, completely turned the market upside down. People started doing launches, having amazing success. And so I just kept on working to make it better and better and better. And many versions of PLF. That first version was, just I sent it out in CDs, and there's a couple books. It was just, a mini little version. This version, what you're watching right now, is the absolute latest, the best. We've come a long way, invented all kinds of new types of launches, new techniques, deliver it in a much better way. This is way more professional, but it's the same core strategy. It's been working since I started using it in 2003, since I started working with the clients in 2003, and since I released the first PLF. In 2016, my students and clients in total, all of them together, crossed over the $1 billion with a B, $1 billion in total launches for all my clients. Absolutely crazy, amazing. And of course, that number hasn't stood still since 2016. Flash forward, it just keeps on growing and growing and growing. But it's because I took this and I adapted it over into here. And so these three circles are a little different. We have, I'm going to start over here. We have stories, sequences, and triggers. Those are our three circles here. Now, some people, possibly you, they think Product Launch Formula is you put out 3 videos, video 1, 2, 3, and that leads into some type of a sales video or sales letter. And that is one version of Product Launch Formula. It's been super successful. I'm going to teach you that version in this course. You're going to love it. It's going to be amazing. It'll change everything. But really, this is just one current incarnation, one current version of PLF. You're going to learn more than that in this course. And this is just like sort of the latest. Like when I started out with this first launch, there was no videos back then. There was no videos here. There's no such thing as online video. In fact, in 2005, no one even knew what I looked like because there was no videos, no photos, because it was the dark ages, but it was still this core of stories, sequences, and triggers. And I'm going to be teaching each one of these, but what these allow you to do is they allow you to, this is great, but you had to be like this amazing wizard. With PLF, you just have to be able to take your marketing and turn it into a compelling story, and I'm going to be teaching you that, and then deliver it via sequence so you're not dependent on one piece of copy. And then you build in these mental triggers that makes your stuff almost irresistible, and you can take those triggers and sprinkle it into your stories and sequences. And then basically the list, the offer, and the copy, that doesn't go away. These are still core, but that's these outer 3 rings. And the reality is when you get your stories and sequences and triggers right, then that will give you your list. You'll figure out how to make your offer, and it'll almost write your copy for you. Now, that's a big promise. And I'm going to be getting into all of this, but that's why PLF is proven. You know, it's been proven over all these years. It's been proven in all these markets. And it's been proven by people that aren't like amazing copy wizards. They aren't amazing statisticians that can pull the right list. It's been proven because it's a very interactive process. When you get your stories close to being right and you start sharing them over a sequence, all of a sudden the offer starts to materialize for you. The copy almost writes itself for you as you get in this conversation with your market. Now, I'm going to be, like I said, covering all of this in this course and in the upcoming videos. In fact, we'll get through most of this in this very first module. But the stories and sequences and triggers is the thing that allows you to get your copy, your list, and your offer right. Now, there are a few things that will hold you back, that could hold you back as you go through this. And the first one is that this isn't going to work for me. I'm not some marketing guru like Jeff is. Well, you know, I was Mr. Mom. I was a stay-at-home dad when I started out. I had nothing going on. I hadn't made a penny for 6 years. This is how, PLF is how you become the expert in your market. It's how you become compelling. It's how you learn to sell. One of my favorite case studies with John Gallagher, who teaches people about edible and medicinal plants and herbs, he has a $10 membership site. That's his primary product, is a $10 membership site. He's built that into a $1 million plus business. He was on food stamps when he started. He was literally on food stamps. He had a board game, and he was selling a board game, and he's built that into a membership site, into products, into a $1 million business. You don't have to be some expert, and it works. It's been proven all over the world in all kinds of markets with all kinds of products and services. The other thing that will hold you back is I knew that. If you go through this and you say, yep, I already knew that, Jeff. I've already seen this. I've seen people do launches. I've actually bought from people during launches. I know how this stuff works. Or I've been in marketing forever. I do webinars. I do teleseminars. I've been in sales before. I'm a professional brand marketer. Whatever, please don't let this hold you back. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I've been teaching it in one form or another since 2003 and full out since 2005. I've had somewhere between 10 and 20,000 people go through this. They've gotten $1 billion of results. There are nuances in this course that you have never heard. There are little pieces, there's little paintbrushes. You might have seen the painting. You might have seen the painting of a launch, but you haven't seen the brushstrokes that make it happen. You haven't seen all the sequences that make it happen. So don't let that hold you back. And then the final thing is, you know what? I disagree. That's not how life works. That's not how business works. That's not how marketing works. If your products are really good, you wouldn't need to do this stuff. I just don't agree with the way you did that. Please, this is proven. Just set that aside for a moment, that disagree reflex. Because it's easy to go there. I can go there too. Don't be too cool for school. This stuff works. It's been working for 20 years. It's going to keep on working, and it's going to work for you. So that's just an overview of some of the core strategies that we're going to be covering. I'm going to be going in detail on this. But as we go through this, just every one of these videos, especially in this first module, be thinking about your own launch and how you can use these strategies as we go through each one. And then scroll down, leave a comment. Just let me know you're here. I read those comments. Just let me know you're here. And look forward to the next video.